I'm in the comments section all the time on these videos. And lately, with this tough price action, FOMC rollover, all this stuff that's been going on, I've been hearing from you guys about blowing prop accounts. So today I wanted to talk about that because I've blown a ton of prop accounts in the past and it sucks. It's painful, and it's not just the lost money, the lost time, and the progress that hurts. There's, I think, a hidden trap that you might be ignoring because I know I was. When you blow an account, it feels like you've got a clean slate. You have a fresh full drawdown, 30 days to pass, and a new chance at this. But I think that cycle is what's killing your discipline. Instead of learning to sit with discomfort, you're training your brain to escape it and start fresh. So, today I'm going to talk all about that and what I think you could do to break that cycle. But first, let's check out the trade I took. And we'll see if I can stick to my discipline rules and end my losing streak. All right, so I didn't take this trade, but I saw it and I thought about taking it. It would have been my C short trade. So it's where price breaks out of the opening 1 minute range and fails. I didn't take it, I think, just because I was scared to get in this early in the session, and the last C short I took lost. But this one easily won its 30 points and went for another 50. All right, so I am about to get into an A long here, and yes, I'm buying at the all-time highs. Uh, if you're curious about my A strategy, it's in the link below. There's a bunch of free resources on my Buy Me a Coffee page. So if you want to see that actually broken down into what these trades are that I'm taking, that one's on there. You can have it for free to check out. Okay, so somebody asked me what I write in my journal, and somebody else in the comments who's given me lots of great advice before has suggested that instead of not watching my trades, I write down what I'm thinking, feeling, going through while the trade is on and just kind of like sit with it and write and watch the trade. So that's what I did today, and I'll just share with you what that looked like. So the first thing I wrote down was risk $84. Then I said, I really hate buying all time highs. This looks like it's going to lose. I always think they look like they're gonna lose. I said I wanted to TP for 10 points. I wanted to move the stop down, like when it got a bit close to the stop there. Today was not a price action problem. I didn't take my first setup because I was afraid of another loss. I took my next setup because I didn't want to skip two winning setups. I want to TP early to break the losing streak, but I want to test my system. I need to test my system. If I don't, I will never know if it actually works and I won't have any confidence in it. And that's it. Then I just watched and I wrote, I broke the losing streak, up $121, and the account's at 26,400. So that's what that looked like for me today. Okay, so we all know the obvious pain of blowing these prop accounts, whether it's an eval that you were close to passing or it's a funded account. It costs you money. Um, every reset, every time you're paying an activation fee, it's costing you money. You lose your progress. So if you've been working for a week or two on your eval and you blow it, you lose that 2 weeks of progress that you had built up. Same with the funded account. And it makes you feel like a failure. Nothing would be worse than when I'd have those days where I'd blow multiple evals in a day. Like I put in my other video, the one where I break down how much I spent on prop firms. My worst day was 8 resets on Top Step in a single day. So I think the real problem with blowing through these accounts is what it does to our mindset. So when you blow an account and you reset, you get the illusion of a fresh start. You've got a new account, you have a new full drawdown, you don't have to work out of anything, and you have 30 days to pass. So you've got some breathing room. The mental reset on that, while it feels good, I think it's keeping us from learning discipline. So this is what I'm calling the real death loop. Um, I gotta thank the person who put death loop in the comments because I've used it a few times now. So what's happening when we're constantly resetting the accounts is I think it's training our brains to gamble and to have more of a gambler's mentality. You start to think, this is the one, I'll size up and I'll pass it, or I'll just reset, right? Because if it's only, I don't know, for me on the Apex sales, it would be like $30 or something. So it seems like of insignificant amount of money, and so it's like, okay, I can, put on however many minis on this trade, and I'll go for 25 points, and I either get the account and I'm funded, or else I lose it, and whatever, it costs me $35. I think that's really bad because it's creating this make or break mentality, and that's not going to be good for our consistency. um, Blowing accounts really robs us of the chance to build real discipline by sitting through these moments. It kills our patience. This is um, the first time that I've had sort of like a losing streak that's gone on for more than a week, and I've stayed sized down, and I've had to just be patient and deal with, okay, I'm going to stick to the plan, and I might take more losses, and I'm not going to get a payout really soon or anything, and I just need to be patient and keep taking my trades. Okay, so how do we stop doing this? Because, like I said, I get these comments from people saying that they're blowing accounts. And honestly, I feel it because I've been there so many times and I know what it's like and I know how frustrating it is. So it's like, um, I've been able to go a couple months without doing this. And I want everyone else to stop doing it too, because it just feels like a more relaxed, healthier, sustainable way of trading. So, the first thing that I think you need to do to stop blowing the accounts is to size down and slow down. I know no one wants to hear this. It's super boring advice. I definitely never wanted to do this, but you really need to size down and limit the trades per day and have a strict daily loss limit. Don't have it open to being able to, blowing an account every day or multiple accounts in a day. Like, really set those rules for yourself. You're going to have to learn to sit through the discomfort, the losing streaks, and the slow growth. I didn't want slow growth. When I came into trading, it was just like, I want to just, I want this to be easy and I want to make money now. But obviously, that's not how it goes. And now I've had to come to accept that it's going to be slow growth. And right now, my equity curve is went up and then down a bit. And, now it's just kind of, and I think that's okay. I think that's pretty normal. Um, Look at this as, and somebody in the comments said this the other day and I really loved it. Look at it as a learning phase and retraining yourself and an experiment in discipline. So don't look at it as I'm in a funded account or I'm in an eval and I'm trying to pass. Look at it as how good can I follow my plan? How can I measure my discipline? And just take that information and then what do I need to work on next? And then pick something to work on in your discipline. Start setting different goals for yourself. So I was talking to someone either yesterday or this morning in the comments, and they just passed an eval, which is awesome. So now they're in a funded account, but they said they're pretty good at passing, but then they blow them. So I, gave them some advice. I was like, you got this, you could do it, just slow down. But then they responded back like, I really want a payout. And I totally understand that because that was, it's so hard not to go into a funded account just seeing the money and the payout. But I I told them to do this. I really would encourage setting different goals for your funded account. Set patience-based goals, set discipline-based goals. So for me, the goal was I want to be in my funded account for at least a month. It's been over a month now. I haven't had a payout, but it's up, it's pretty close to payout territory. I'm not exactly sure. But I've had it for over a month. There's been no huge drawdowns, no wild emotional swings on it. So sit down and think about what kind of goals you can set for your funded account that have nothing to do with money. Stop thinking about the money you will make. Just look at your risk and your risk management. Just look at how much, on each, figure out a daily loss limit, and then, how many trades you're going to take in a day. So, what amount of risk per trade you're okay with, and have a strict budget for prop firms. I would say one eval a month. I don't know, maybe two works better for some people. but definitely limit it, and when you go over that limit or you've used up your evals, then switch to sim until it renews. Don't reset. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, leave me a like, comment, subscribe. If you're having a hard time with blowing your prop accounts, let me know. Um, you can tell me what's kind of been going on with it, what you think your main issues are, and, you're going to be met with some discipline advice from me and maybe from some others as well. And if you're not blowing accounts, I also want to know what you're doing. How are you doing it? How did you stop blowing accounts? Because I think this is once you get into that loop with the prop firms and the mentality kind of seeps in, it becomes really easy to just get into that cycle and really hard to get out of it. So I'd love to hear from you on it. And that's it for today. So I will see you back here tomorrow.